YouTube, welcome back to my channel. At the beginning of October, I made a video entitled October TBR and Reading Plans, I think. And in that video, I talked about 18 books that I wanted to read in the month of October. I did say there were 19 books because I was going to announce a book for the book club to read in October, but I didn't because I didn't do a wrap-up video for the September book, which I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I was waiting for my copy of Flights to come, and because I'd read a copy from the library and didn't have a copy to use for the discussion, didn't have adequate notes to do a discussion video, I had to wait until I got another copy, and it finally came, so that video is coming out soon. In any case, I mentioned 18 books in my October TBR main content. In my bonus content, I showed you 4 more books that I wanted to read for my super secret special project, and I'll tell you about that later on. But what I wanted to do today is just to revisit my October TBR and tell you how many of the books I actually did end up reading. You know, for a while I didn't post TBR videos because I know most of the times we make TBR videos, it's to announce our intention to read books. But those intentions are made when things are great. It's great to project onto the future your ambitions, your goals, but sometimes they don't really happen. Life happens, things happen. And so today I just wanted to revisit my October TBR and do a slightly different video than any video I think I've ever made or really ever seen here on BookTube, where I just revisit my TBR and tell you which of the books that I had planned to read in October I actually read in October. My October recap is going to be a separate video. I'll do that later, otherwise this could get out of hand and become really long. But I just wanted to tell you, of the list of 18 books plus bonus content that I projected, how many of them I actually read. And so I'll show you. So these are the books that were on my October TBR, including these 2 on my right, which are from my bonus content, my super secret special project that you didn't really know too much about, except I revealed a snap. And so yeah, these are all the books that I had planned to read in October. This first category includes books that I talked about in previous TBR videos. Some of these were carryovers from September TBR. Some of them were carryovers from long ago. Like The Lowland by Jhumpa Lahiri is a book that I had included in my 5-star predictions video. It's the last book I have left to read from my 5-star prediction videos that I made so many months ago. And I really want to read it. I just haven't been able to find time because it doesn't match any other challenge that I'm reading to try to finish up. And so I still haven't read it. Spoiler alert, the first book on my TBR for October, I still haven't read. So no, I didn't read that. I also have 2 books by Kyung Suk Shin that were carryovers from September. I didn't read these either because I know I'm gonna love these books. If I had to make a 5-star prediction video right now, I'd put this on there because a lot of the booktubers that have read it are people that share reading tastes with me, and they've raved about it, and so I'm sure I'm gonna rave about it. But no, none of these 3 I've read yet. The other 3 are also still carryovers from September. I have Voices from Chernobyl by Svetlana Alexievich. This is an oral history of the nuclear disaster that happened in Chernobyl, Ukraine in 1986. This is a compendium of interviews that Alexievich did over the process of, I think, 10 years, where she recorded stories from victims and survivors and those who know them, and what the experience was like for those who lived through it and were forever changed by it. And I finally read it in October, so I was really happy about that. Then I have the 2 Lolita books that I own, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, as well as the memoir about reading Lolita in Tehran by Azar Nafizi. I did a buddy read of this one. I started in September. I finished it in October. I didn't get around to this one. One reason I didn't pick this one up is my buddy read partner, Tiffany from Hierarchy of Reads. Hi, Tiffany. She couldn't take on another reading challenge right now, and so we've pushed reading books with this theme off to maybe in December, and so I've pushed this off my October TBR when we made that decision. So the first 6 books that I mentioned in my October TBR, I read 2 of them. Not such a great start. No, I still had 2 more books that I talked about in September and didn't read. They were on my October TBR. First is Virginia Woolf's Orlando. I didn't even crack the spine of this one. And next was Howard Jacobson's Finkler Question, which I did read. More on that later. I did a page 112 tag of these 3 new releases sometime in the summer, and I plan to read all 3 of them in October. And I did. Things are looking up. Then I had 3 books to read for the Facebook reading group that I'm a part of. Book Challenge by Erin. I had these 3 books. They're There by Tommy Orange, The Circle by Dave Eggers, and The Mountains Echoed by Khalid Hosseini. I only got to this one. They're There by Tommy Orange. I read this one from the library, but I think someone bought me a copy and had it delivered to me. I'm not so sure. So that's why I've been holding out on buying my own copy of this one, but this is a book that I want to own. I enjoyed it. More on that later. Then I had these 4 nonfiction books on my TBR. I had Fallout by Peter Watson. I didn't get to this. I didn't even open it. I had One Person, No Vote by Carol Anderson. In rewatching my previous videos, I realized that I kept saying one person, one vote, which now that I think about it, doesn't make sense given the subtitle of the book, but it's One Person, No Vote. It's about the voter suppression experienced by African Americans in this country. And so yeah, One Person, No Vote. I didn't read this. I'm going to be reading it in November though. Then I had The Lost Art of Reading by David Ulin. This one was recommended to me by Columbus, who's a subscriber here on YouTube. Hi, Columbus. And I read this one. And then I had another book by Svetlana Alexievich, and this one is Secondhand Time. I didn't get to it. So of the 4 nonfiction that I wanted to read in October, or thought about reading, see how giant these are? I only read the small one that's in the middle. That's not good. Then if you'd stuck around for the bonus content, you would see that I showed you 4 books. And of the 4 books, I only finished 2 of them. Those 2 were Snap by Belinda Bauer and Warlight by Michael Andante. I'm going to be talking about those in an upcoming video, so I won't talk too much about them here. And then that's it. So yeah, of the 18 or 19 plus 4 books that I talked about in my October TBR video, I read a considerable number of them. Not all the books that I planned to read, I did read, but then I did go on to read even more books. And so in October, I read close to 20 books. You're gonna have to come back and watch my October recap video if you want to know which other books I put on my TBR and why. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Leave me a comment down below. Let's talk about whether you like this kind of video and whether I should keep revisiting my truly ambitious TBRs and tell you whether or not I was able to meet my reading goals. So thanks for watching. We'll talk in the comments, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.